Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about what should you do when you are in the midst of a recession? What should you do when you are in the midst of a market crash, when things are not going so well, when there's a lot of fear? How are you supposed to go about your investments? I'm not saying we are in a recession. I'm not saying that we are in a crash as of this posting or as of this creation of the video, but preparation is never wasted. What you do before things happen will determine how you will succeed also later on. So this video is all about how are you supposed to prepare when a recession will happen. So if you want to learn more about that, check this video out. Hi everyone, this is Marvin Gurmo. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and smash that bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about investing, about the stock market, about helping you reach your goals of financial freedom. And in this video, we're gonna drill down on what are you supposed to do when a recession is happening. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, and stay till the end of the video. Hey guys, so the market has crashed, not crashed, but the market has dropped from 9,000 all the way in January 2018 to where we are right now. We've breached below the 7,000 level, and if you've seen it also, you've seen other markets crash because of fears of the coronavirus. We've seen the S&P 500, we've seen the Dow, we've seen the Nasdaq, we've seen the FTSE start to have large red candles from a chart perspective as well. But a lot of people are so anxious that, is this the start already of a recession? Is this the start already of a crash? Because please remember this, a lot of people years back have been predicting, forecasting that 2020 will be a year of a crash, 2020 will be a year of a recession. A lot of people also have been saying that markets cannot go up forever. Please remember, from the 2008 financial crisis, we are 12 years already from the 2008 crash, meaning the market has gone up massively already. A lot of people have made a lot of money, and markets cannot go up forever. It's impossible for markets to stay up for a very, very long time, and a lot of people were predicting that. And a lot of people were also attributing that the crash will be caused by the trade war. A lot of people were saying it will be college loans. There's so many things that people are saying, but at the end of the day, here's a couple of things that I know. Number one, no one can specifically forecast the date, the time of when a recession will happen. No one can specifically forecast the date, the time when a crash will happen. But there's one thing we do know. No one can predict that it will happen, but we do know that it will happen. Recessions and crashes are not a matter of if it will happen, it's only a matter of when. Things like this are cyclical, and the best thing that you can actually do is to prepare. What do I mean prepare? You have to prepare your finances. You have to have cash. The greatest thing that I can tell you at this point in time, especially that we are relatively from a 10, 15, 20-year horizon, we are at the higher range of whatever band or whatever index you're trying to measure, but we are at the highest portion already, where we are relatively at the higher end. And should it correct, should it crash, should it go down, cash is always king. You using cash will protect you. You using cash will somehow give you a level of flexibility. Please remember this. A lot of people are saying that if you have cash, sayang, natutulog siya. But in times of recession, cash is always king. Cash is options. Cash gives you the flexibility to be able to decide properly on what you're supposed to do with your money. So I'll say this over and over and over and over. In times of recession, it's nice to have cash, because number one, it gives you liquidity. You have to remember this. When recessions happen, I don't know what will be the next shape or form, how big it will be. Will there be defaults? But should there be jobs that get hit, there will be a lot of people that won't have jobs. Things might not be so good as well. I don't know if you are watching this and you also have a job, because you have to remember there's a lot of people also from watching this that are not from the Philippines. So should your country get hit and you get laid off from your job, you need to have cash on top, above and beyond your emergency fund. Of course, you need your emergency fund on a regular basis to protect you for emergencies. Should you lose your job, you need to use that to be able to help you if someone gets sick, or if you need a replacement for your income while you don't have a job. You need your emergency fund. The cash that I'm talking about is above and beyond your emergency fund. The cash that I'm talking about is something that's on top of the cash that you're storing for emergencies. The cash that I'm talking about is cash that you will use for you to maximize opportunities during a recession. Why am I saying this? You can use that cash to help you. Why? Because there will be business opportunities during recessions, that because no one wants to start a business, you will be able to either buy a business at a very cheap price, or if you won't be able to buy a business at a very cheap price, you will be able to do business, because a lot of people are scared to do business, and you might have more opportunities from it. Please remember this: a lot of people were talking about 2008 as a very scary time. A lot of people were talking about 2008 as a great crash. It was one of the largest recessions that we've seen over the past 100 years. But what's not talked about aside from that is this: a lot of people became multimillionaires because of it. So why am I saying this? Those who made a lot of money during that recession were the ones who were prepared. Those who made a lot of money during that recession were the ones who took the time, who took the opportunity to be able to find deals, either spot businesses that were cheap, or not just spotting businesses that were cheap. So number one, use your cash to start businesses that may do well in times of crisis, or use that cash to buy businesses that people will be selling it at a very cheap price. Or number three, use cash for you to be able to buy properties, condos, lots, lands, because a lot of people may not be able to pay out their loans. A lot of people were so aggressive when there were times of plenty. They bought 5 condos, and now because times are hard, they're not earning as much, and they can only support 1 or 2 condos, and they may sell some of those condos at a very cheap price. So again, use cash, because there will be a lot of people who will be selling property because they cannot pay for the amortization already, or because of the recession, because of the crash, they need to be liquid. They will need to use their cash in some other areas, or because their business is not doing so well because they got hit by bad economic times. They need cash to protect their business. They need cash for their operations, for their family. So you will expect a lot of people who will sell properties, condos, houses, lots, lands at a very cheap price. Let me give an example. If property prices are 10 million pesos and they sell it at 7 million, if they bought it way back at 5 million pesos, them selling it at 7 million will still give them a profit as well. But you, since there's a crash, you get to take advantage of it also. Instead of buying at 10, you get to buy at 7. That's why I keep saying this all the time. Money's made when there's a lot of fear. Money's made when a lot of people are scared. Money's made when you do things that are contrary to what other people are doing. A lot of people, when crashes happen, when recessions happen, are scared. But please remember this: that's one of the best times for you to buy things cheap. That's one of the best times for you to be able to take advantage of opportunities that will help you make money over the long term. So what do you need to do? Number one, cash to either start a business that will do well during a recession, because no one wants to do business. Number two, you may be able to find businesses that are cheap. Number three, buy property, anything connected to property, because you can spot opportunities and deals that will be cheap, either na repossess or about to be repossessed, or they just really need the cash to protect them during times of crisis. Number four is this: as you all know, the stock market is a forward-looking market. As you all know, the stock market crashes first before a recession is actually seen. So why am I saying this? Use that cash to be able to buy stocks or equity funds. If you're not a person who likes direct equity investing, once you see the market crash significantly already, take out that cash, use that cash to be able to buy equity funds, index funds, or anything connected to the stock market. So just to give you also context, I highly suggest, if you cannot invest in direct stocks, you do not have time to watch the nitty-gritty of the stock market, then just do index equity funds. Index equity funds are very good for people who are passive. Index equity funds will do well over the long term. You invest money that you don't plan to touch for 5 to 10 years, because when you come in at a recession, of course, you do not know how long the drop will be. You do not know how long will those stocks stay at that level. You do not know how low it will be. But what you do know is this: because it's an index fund, indices normally go down, but they always go back higher than where they were before. So when markets crash, use that cash, buy index equity funds. That's one. Or, since I mentioned about the stock market, for those who are direct stock pickers, what you can do, and you are a long-term investor, I'm not talking about traders here, but you are a long-term investor, find stocks whose growth is still there, that in spite of a recession, that the company is still earning massively well, that in spite of the recession, the company is still doing well, earning, growing, and still thriving. And then valuations, those who know how to read PE ratios, those who attended our Stock Smart sessions, and those who read the Stock Smart's books, check out PE or PB ratios. Check also about computing for the fair value of the company. If those fair values become so cheap and your margins become so big, and those valuation ratios become so low already and become so attractive for you to come in. You have to, that's an opportunity for you to buy. That's an opportunity for you to come in. Again, don't buy the ones that have dropped but don't have any fundamentals. Don't buy the ones that, hey, galing 10 pesos and they're just 2 pesos but they dropped because they're really bad companies. Buy the ones that are really good. Buy the ones that are massively amazing, but the companies that you can buy at a very cheap price. For those that are super conservative, just buy stocks that have dividends. As you all know, when stock prices go down, the dividend yields will go up. If the dividend yields will go up, compute it. How much, provided that the dividends stay the same, how much will be your yield based on this big drop that's happening to the stock, based on this big drop that's happening to this particular company? If the yields are attractive, if the yields are so good, especially in times of uncertainty, then you go for it. You have to go for it as well. So those are so many options that you can do. Buy a business, start a business, invest in property, invest in the stock market. But all of those things are predicated on cash. You need cash. That's why I kept sharing it over and over and over. The cash is still king. That it's nice to invest in the market. It's nice to invest in equities. However, you still need a portion of cash to protect you when times are bad, or to give you options also when you get to have a chance to buy things cheap. And I've said this in several videos in the past that I have a just in case of emergency fund. That just in case of emergency fund is there. That I just keep putting cash there so that when markets crash, I use that. I take that cash and invest in all of those 4 things that I mentioned as well. So those are things that can help you. Please remember, recessions, crashes are things that shouldn't cause you to be scared, especially if you're investing money that's an excess, especially if you're investing money that if it goes to zero, you're supposed to be okay. Never ever invest an amount of money that you cannot tolerate to lose. Never ever invest an amount of money that if it goes down, you will have sleepless nights. You always have to invest an amount of money that if it goes the other direction, if it does not do well, you're supposed to be okay. You're supposed to be able to sleep well at night, because at the end of the day, that's what investing is. Investing is you putting an excess amount of money that you don't plan to touch, leave it for the long term, plant it, and let it grow massively hard for you as well. So I hope you got a lot from this. If you want to learn more about my principles on investing, I super appreciate it if you could subscribe, you can like, and you can hit the bell so you get updated every time I come up with videos like this. Or if you want to learn via my seminars, I have training courses, live training courses in different cities around the world. They're in the description below. I have seminars in Manila this March, seminars in London this April, seminars in Singapore and Doha, Qatar this May. Then I will be in Auckland, New Zealand this June, in Sydney, Australia this July, and in November I will be in Tokyo and Dubai as well. So all of those are in the description below. But for those of you who want to learn via online training courses, I have a training course with Chinkitan. It's called Stock Market for Everyone. It's a Tagalog seminar that will teach you the rudiments of what the stock market is. It's in the description below. And for those who want to start their own business, and for those who want to invest in stocks, I have a course called Make Money, Grow Money. It's with Sean C. It's also in the description below. And lastly, for those who want to learn via books, for those who want to consume content via reading, I have 5 books. You can order them via Shopee, or you can check out the other link if you want it to be delivered in other areas outside the Philippines as well. So I guess that's it for now. What's very key in all of this, no, that's why I've been making videos like this, because please remember, the heart, the narrative of why I create these videos is really for you to be able to win in investing in business, regardless of what asset class it is. It requires a heavy amount of you spending the time to do your due diligence, because if it was so easy to get rich, then everyone would be rich as well. But it's not that. It's about you taking the time, hustling hard, working hard, studying, building your confidence, and knowing what you're getting into. And that's what will cause you and push you to be able to elevate, to reach your dreams of financial freedom. So that's it for now. This is Marvin Germo, encouraging you, pushing you to work hard for your dreams, because it's not impossible. You can always live for your dreams, but you always have to do the work. You have to make your hustle match your ambition. If you have a high ambition, you have to match that with a very strong work ethic as well, living simply and investing massively. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.